So the question is, where am I? Now I'm in somewhere that's local to me. Yes, we've done a couple of videos on this place previously. However, it was a very low quality. It was 1080p, but the resolution was terrible. When people ask me my favourite places, this is one of my favourite places. Very close to where I live, a bit of local history. That's why I like it, and there's a lot of original features. So what I'm going to do, I want to take you around, but if you want to look at our previous videos that may explain a little bit more about it, that's fine. But I will give you the history as we walk through. But bear in mind, the history on this place is very vague, but we have enough information to go by to give you something interesting. So I'm going to turn these, that's very nice lighting there. The yellow in the mining rings is still here. This is how nice, this is why I like this place. It's amazing. So I'm going to turn you around now. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour. So grab a drink and join me as we go down the tunnels. So, years ago, this was the way in which we would access this place. Now I've done a couple of videos previously here, but since then it has been sealed. I will show you the ceiling here to prove that it's sealed. But let me show you this, for example, because this is very important, and I'll show you why. So normally we don't show you entrance points and all that kind of stuff. Now years ago, this is how we used to get in. There's a manhole cover to the street. As you can see, there's a metal grate and they've put wood over the top. And what they've done is they have filled the void, which is about 1.5 foot, full of concrete, and then set the lid into the concrete and then welded it. So it is pretty much stuck. But now, as you can see, this is what we used to deal with. We've got a lot of rotten stairs and it goes down to somewhere interesting. So I will take you to the bottom and I'll explain more. So, normally we don't shoot in 4K, but in this occasion we have, because I'm well aware that I think this is the last time I'm ever going to be able to get down here. And as you can see, we've just got tunnels and tunnels. So on either side you can see you've got benches up the top and down below. So this set of tunnels was built below a set of barracks, and in the event of an air raid, all of the guys would come down here and take refuge. Now it's long believed that that would have been the regiment of the Royal Marines, but we'll continue on because the upper levels are often considered to be an underground dressing station to treat wounded soldiers, hence why it's got a ramped entrance. So we're just going to keep going through nice and slow. We're going to see what we can find. But the original paint on the mining rings, the yellow, is absolutely amazing. As we get to each section, I will try to explain what we know or what we think. So obviously this particular tunnel was purely for the refuge of soldiers, hence all of the bunks. But the deeper we go in, we can see that the quality in the mining rings is getting worse. So there's more moisture here, and as such, a lot of the bunks have fallen down. See? And if we look, we have a bin that says litter. So, World War II litter bin. Amazing. Now, this section here, we have a couple of cubicles which are dedicated to women only. Now, unfortunately, there used to be a sign up here that said Women's WC, but somehow it's disappeared. But we do have 2 women's toilet cubicles. But the more interesting thing is, this section of tunnel is completely clear. What was it used for? If we go here to this brick-lined section, you can see the remnants of, if I move, a telephone exchange. So this is where all the communications would have run. Now, as for all of this, I've no idea what would have been down these racks, but the original Bakelite switches, which I think, no, that one's a little bit seized up, but still in brilliant condition. Look at that. Anyway, let's continue the tour of the ground floor section of these tunnels. Here we go. Now we're coming up on a section here, which I'll turn. Should I turn the lamp up a little bit? There we go. A little bit. So you can see the framework still exists, but the boards that would have separated them have completely disintegrated. Now, you'd think that these were potentially offices. So if we look at this door, you can just see office number 3 there. But it has completely disintegrated. And we'll go through to office number 4. Try and turn a bit of light up. There we go. Well, we've missed numbers 2 and 3, but that's fine. So we're now at the intersection of the 2 tunnels. This one goes towards the upper level, but this one is another set of tunnels for the purpose of refuge for the soldiers in the barracks. There's a few features you might want to see. We'll get to those as we go further down. As you can see, most of it's just bunks, but some of the features have been removed. So if we look up, you can see a lot of the light fittings have been kind of destroyed because there would have been glass in those. But there was also a tannoy system, which I'll show you later in the video because I know that there's some of them upstairs. And also, you've got cable trays, which would have for the telephony systems and the PA system. When I get back to the intersection, before I take you to the second level, I'll show you there's a little interchange box for the telephony system. There we go, there's a good example. So there's the cabling coming down that's been pulled down, unfortunately. But that would have run all the way down the tunnel. And we can tell it's getting drier now because the yellow paint on the mining rings is far better. There's not as much rust, which is really nice. I'll turn that up, but I'll point it upwards just to provide more light. And here, so There's a lot of asbestos in this area. I'll turn the light away a little bit, there you go. So I don't really want to go up here too much, but I'll point the camera up. Basically it's exactly the same as the staircase in which you saw just a moment ago. So yeah, we're moving back now towards the intersection. What we're going to do, we'll go through that tunnel, and then we'll take you upstairs to the dressing station. So back at the intersection, and we're going to make our way towards the second level. Now here you'll probably see there is a lot of fallen wood. There's a lot of moisture in this area, and unfortunately over the years everything's collapsed. So I'll turn that light off for a second. And normally I complain about things falling down and being trashed, but this is purely natural. It's purely because of the moisture in this environment. Now, this is the only thing. This area, I've no idea what they would have used it for, but you can see there's a pattern to the woodwork in the middle, and they've still got bunks either side. So perhaps this was an area in which the soldiers could store maybe supplies, food, water, or maybe even personal goods. Here we go, so you can actually see the supports. There's a little bit thin in here, but it's not too bad. But here's a good example, look. So this here, look how bowed that is. And that's just because the moisture. No one's touched that. It's just such a shame. But it's nice to see something that hasn't been destroyed by people. Even, there we go. So, there we go. So yeah, look, if I take that away, look, we've got shelving, yeah? That's really just, like, look, bottom shelving as well. So shelves at the bottom, shelves at the top, and even shelves at the very top. So I think that must have been supplies for people that were down here. And then, well, if we look here, this is huge. I mean, if I try, hold on, let me turn my torch off and I'll just put my arm on it. I'll try and get back a bit. I don't know if you can see that, I don't know if that's going to work, but this thing's what? Good 3-4 foot in diameter. And this was the primary air filtration system for this complex. So if we keep going, yeah, the air's not great in here, but it's not terrible. Oh. So yeah, originally this brick wall would not have been there, which is why we need to go through this hole for me to show you what's going on. Yeah, so unfortunately I'm going to have to turn the camera off. We'll resort to the head cam. We'll go through this hole here, if you can see that. Yep. And we'll pick it up on the other side, and we'll go upstairs to the underground hospital. Right, so we've just come through the hole. I'm not going to switch to the 4K camera because it's only a short distance to the stairwell, but I will light it up because obviously it's a really crappy GoPro, because there is a stair climb. Now it's good to note this big vent here. So this big vent supplied the fresh air to the lower section of the tunnel system. And when we get upstairs, I'll be able to show you where it connected up to the ventilation system. So this is where it gets interesting. Light levels are going to get quite low because I can't hold the big torch, but I've got a smaller one on my head. So yeah, give us a minute, we'll get upstairs.
No, that's the low setting. Use it for the high setting just in time. Right, this one will take each strand of it all the way.
Yeah, these ones are the most dangerous. What I would suggest is that you do not climb a set of stairs if someone is climbing the stairs underneath you, just in case a bit of wood goes. Yeah, just in case a bit of wood goes, don't let it drop on the person below. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You good? Just right around it.
Well, I can do this bit because no one's above me, so. Yeah, you can see here where the stairs have given way, and they're missing here. We've got more here. Now you guys go. Yeah, actually, I'll light.
Be careful, yeah.
I'll light this up because it's quite interesting. Look.
Oh.
Yeah, you've got one step. Just one step. The rest you've got to go up the banisters. So that's why we're taking it easy. And I can go up this one now because there's no one above me.
You good? See what I mean? It's actually quite useful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking doing this because I don't have a lot of luck with body strength.
Oh, this isn't about upper body strength.
Well,
this is about balls.
Given that you've got this far, you'll have no problem. You'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Where's Graham? Is he above me?
Yeah, right there.
All right. Well, I'll come up to you guys then. Yeah.
Right where you're putting. It's just about making sure you got your. Oh.
That's slippery.
It's just about making sure you got your foot placement before you put all your weight on it, isn't it?
Well, this is the perfect example of 3 points of contact.
Yeah, always
Yeah.
got 3 points.
Yeah. Because if something gives, you've got a good grip. On the way down, however, I'm just an idiot. There we go. Ooh.
Careful, mate.
Yeah. Nah, my foot got caught on a bit of wood or something.
You need training. You need trainers on it.
You good? Oh yeah, I feel like still torching a mouse.
There you go. You can see the tunnel there, so we're not going to the top. That's the second level.
Yeah, a little bit now.
You're doing really well. Right? You're doing really well. I can't believe. No offence, but I don't know any female who do this.
Look, I'm not being funny. I've been down here with
guys.
I've been down here with fucking blokes that have done it like a pussy, and I mean it's just flying.
Right, yeah.
Electrical cord.
Look on your left.
Right there, I've got to look down.
See, this is something I noticed the last time I came down here.
That's a fair old drop in it.
Yeah, you don't want to fall down now. You're dead.
Well, if you don't go, break
on
it
there,
down.
on the concrete, look on your left. There's a pencil. This side, pencil drawing of a tunnel. Yeah. I'll show that to the guys on the camera in a minute.
Don't sit there.
Yeah.
Because look, there's a big fucking hole. That's why.
There we go. We're up.
Which one torch down?
Let me get the beast out. I'll give you some decent light.
Did you want to use my phone?
Yeah.
Sketchy fuck, isn't it?
There you go. Look at that.
I can't even see all the way down.
Nah, you don't want to.
No, probably.
Because
it goes up another amount like this, doesn't it?
if you realise how far you've climbed up, you'd be like, oh crap, I don't want to go down that now. Yeah. Right. Time to switch to the normal camera. So we have traversed the stairs, we have come to the second level, so I'll now explain what the second level was, because there's a lot of history behind it. I will try and turn you around now, show you down and into the tunnels, and we'll explain as we go. Right, okay, so actually the lamp's doing pretty good. So these are the stairs we've just come up. I'll point you down just to give you an idea. I mean, there's holes in the stairs absolutely everywhere. They're not safe. But having said that, if you don't look, you never know, and that is my philosophy. So when you come to the second level here, you can see it's braced by these retrofitted columns to try and support the tunnels. But then you've also got so many interesting things here like this. I'll turn the main torch off for a minute. We don't need it with the lamp. A lot of the old electrical fittings. But what we'll do, we're going to go round to the right, the left first, because this is where it's most in. Oh no! Someone's been in here recently. That was not off of its hinges. That was quite happily placed in a stuck position. So someone has tried to move that. It's a shame, but it will not be a problem soon because, well, this place will be fully sealed up for its own protection. But look at that. This door is to be properly secured on the inside before opening the other door. And why is that? So let's look inside and you can see this bar here. So that would have had the secondary door on it. And what it does is you close that door. Well, this door would be closed. You come inside, you would close this door. Sorry, there's not a lot of room here. You'd close this door. And then you'd open this door to maintain the pressure in the room. But if I just up at the ceiling, I mean, look at the size of that. I mean, that's my hand in front of the camera. I don't think that really helps with regards to scale. But that thing is absolutely huge. And what that would have done, and if you look here, up, big hole, right? So the air would have been drawn in from the surface, and that runs parallel to the shaft that we walked up to get up to this level. What these racks were, I don't know. If anyone's got any ideas, please do leave them in the comments. This kind of stuff really does intrigue me. But you can see that there's some kind of spindle there which would have had belts on it, which would have run maybe this way, but there's no plinths for any kind of motors. So really isn't. We know it's a plant room, but it's really interesting. So what we'll do, we'll keep going around this top level, and we'll show you everything else. So yes, I've not explained the top level yet. So the top level was a dressing station. And a dressing station, for those that don't know, was basically like an underground hospital. So we can see that there are similar benches on the sides, but not as wide. But you do have wider benches at the bottom. But what's really nice, let's turn around and look up. Look at that. That's the original tannoy system that they would have had, which we saw the cabling for that downstairs. So all of this place were, oh look, actually look, the old Bakelite switch box. The cable is actually still there, the grey cable. I'm not going to follow it because we'll be here all day, but it's amazing how well that survived down here. But unfortunately, the upper level is far more susceptible to the moisture, so a lot has rotted away. I mean, we can see the benches here, which would have been here, and then the original chains that we take away the light, the original chains. So that would have originally been hanging, and now it's on the floor. So the moisture really is taking its toll down here. And obviously a lot of woodwork here. a lot of doors in succession. A lot of doors in succession, so maybe toilet cubicles. Again, there's very little information about this place online. But yeah, we can see here the remnants of some kind of, again, maybe there was it could have been a shower or anything. Again, the information here is just not good. Now, it comes to this, so let me back up. So you've got the archway here. Now, I'm not going to go up there. I've been up there in previous videos, and I'll shine a torch up there. So, this is the ramped entrance. So, this is why it was the underground hospital. If you've got patients, you know, invalid in beds and stuff, you would trolley them down here from the surface into the underground hospital. But the military obviously decided to brick up this entrance, and someone's punched a hole. But that is it. This now goes round in a circle, and we find ourselves back, well, not completely, so again, more bunks, but we will eventually find ourselves back at the stairs that we came up. So the upper level was purely to treat people who were currently being, you know, under hospital treatment. So let's go down, and we'll finish up downstairs.